Preface. The way to the great freedom. We can see the truth fully when we acquire the ability to see both the woods as a whole and the trees as part of that whole. Among 7 billion human beings, not one person doesn't wish for a happy life and to be free, with no obstacles, to be able to cast aside all the restraints that are put upon our lives. But what is the reality? Far from being free. As the years go by, as wealth and power become more important to us, we sink into a deep pit, moving further away from a free and happy life. Our minds deteriorate and our bodies become ill. The people and even the environment around us seem like enemies waiting for an opportunity to attack. Modern people live day by day in this blocked and suffocating reality. We are trapped, without any hope. A few years ago there was a shocking story in Japan. One day, a group of senior executives from big companies suddenly disappeared. Later, they were found working as day laborers at a countryside hotel, tidying the shoes of guests using the spa. When asked why they chose to do this even though they had graduated from top universities and had good social positions, they said they disappeared to be free. They found it hard even to breathe due to the stress from their work and their families. But the question is, even though they fled from reality to the countryside, were they able to gain freedom in their lives? If you cannot get over problems in reality, in the place where you are living now, it will be hard to attain freedom no matter where your body is. If your consciousness makes a decision, your body and mind move accordingly, so you must first solve the situation in your consciousness, no matter whether your body is in an office or on a mountain. If your consciousness doesn't achieve freedom, you will not be able to find it either, even if your body is in the most remote and tranquil location. Therefore, you have to learn how to get that real freedom that enables you to overcome all the suffering this reality brings. You cannot solve the problem by running away from reality. Wherever you are and whatever you do, you have to discover how to live a free life, without restraints. How do you find the way to great freedom? Many people have tried. Tao is the ancient Chinese concept of taking a journey to live in the right way and achieve spiritual perfection. In order to realize the truth that can solve the problems of our lives so we can live in great freedom, it is very important to find a master to show the right way. Since the beginning of history, many people have sought this great freedom, but found it too hard. This was because they never had the opportunity to meet a master who could guide them on the path to enlightenment. Sakyamuni Buddha showed people how to reach enlightenment using a simple method that had nevertheless been very hard for him to discover, as it was then unknown. When taking the unknown path, we have no choice but to wander. But the one who arrived first at the destination is able to lead others in order that they bypass the same trials and errors. But because the tradition of truth-seeking has been disconnected and enlightened masters no longer appear via the religion and spirituality of modern times, it can seem like a comedy in which the blind are leading the blind. People seek only the methods allowed to them by religious doctrines, and practice technique using nothing but the shells of ancient saints. If they are deceived by the means, upaya, they cannot be enlightened but only cultivate the technique, even though they practice all their life. This is why it is vitally important to meet an enlightened master. It is so difficult to become enlightened only through vaguely practicing unconditional faith, praying, mantra, meditation, Wa-Tu, Zen, yoga. and Danjon breathing, transferring the breath into chi energy, without the correct guidance. In order to meet a true master, you first make your mind empty. The problem is that modern people have too strong an ego. For a long time they have made their own religious dogma, creating fixed ideas that have stuck in their minds. This became like another ego. For innocent people, like children, the truth is easy to understand. But due to the complex human brain, they are distracted from being enlightened as they grow. What is the use of having many confusing terms when trying to attain the original true nature? Only by experiencing the truth in your heart, there is no self as an independent individual in every being of the phenomenal world, and staying on the middle path, cutting off all dualistic discriminations, can you gain the realization of no self, a state of never being under the delusion, I am. After coming back from practicing in Myanmar, I wrote a book, Ultimate Enlightenment. I felt deeply that the first necessary thing on the path to enlightenment is to set up the theory of truth by teaching meditation to the disciples for 1 year. While giving lectures on the subject for 4 to 5 hours a week, I came to look at the truth almost as if through a telescope or microscope. This book consists of the notes from these lectures, plus core content selected from my already published work. We can see the truth fully when we acquire the ability to see both the woods as a whole and the trees as part of that whole. The obsession over self has to be cut off through practice, and the mind also has to disappear. Then we can see all phenomena that appear and disappear, within and without, as they are. Realizing the no self, originally no I, in an unshakable state free from restraints. But in reality, most modern seekers of truth are in a pitiable state. There are many worldly, enjoyable things to occupy the ego, and the complexity of modern civilization wants us to be involved in it. So many people have no time to turn their eyes to the truth while they are struggling to keep up. Even if they jump into the world of seeking truth after having realized the vanity of material things, power and reputation, the situation is still not easy. To seek the truth is harder than finding a needle in a giant haystack. Religions with a long tradition, as well as the newer religions, have the same function of making a stronger ego. How can we find bright eyes and open ears in a time of confusion, when we have already become too distracted? There are only connections. Now, in the fullness of time, the truth has met that precious relationship and has come to be known to the world. It is much appreciated.